Hey guys, Winning Cards here, and I have Brandon Sloboda. He played Blue Eyes today. Let's go ahead and get on into the awesome spice that we got going on here, sir.
All right, so obviously Blue Eyes, playing 3 of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. You could probably get away with playing 2, but 3's not bad either. I mean, it's good consistency, it's good discard fodder. You can bring it back with a lot of cards. Your Ultimate Fusion, you use it to recycle them, so 3's fine. 2 alternatives, your main, just reveal Blue Eyes in hand, drop it, get a free pop, use it for your Synchro, rank 8 plays.
Good. Do you ever wish you would play 3?
3 alternative?
Or is it cloggy? Okay.
2 is cloggy. Again, it's one of those things where you could technically get away with playing 1 because it's searchable off like Melody, but at the same time, you can. It's not bad to dump it off, and occasionally it gets banished either by like a Mirror Jade or Crowed in the Grave for some reason. 2 is fine, I think. Play 2 Jet. Jet's, I mean,
it's a great card.
It is. It could be better if it didn't have the restriction on it, but I get why it's there. I just wish it said Blue Eyes card or card that mentions Blue Eyes. It'd be a little less restrictive, but I get why it's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just bring it out, especially in tandem with alternative. You pop something with alternative, drop this from your hand, bring it back from the grave, protect your cards, bounce your opponent's stuff. It's a good extender.
It is.
So that's the main Blue Eyes rank 8 or level 8s. Then I'm playing 2 Dictator of D. It's a good starter. I mean, dump your Blue Eyes to grave right away. Makes a ton of effect live. Again, the restriction of the card has to mention Blue Eyes is a little restrictive, so you can't dump Ancients with it to revive a card. So that's kind of annoying, but otherwise it's good. It's good to get a search off a legend with. Good. You can even dump Jet and target the Jet to bring it back, so that's good. I'm only playing 2. If I had a 3rd, I might play it. I'm not sure. Because sometimes it is cloggy in and of itself, because if you don't have the cards to discard with it, it doesn't do a whole lot after that. Play 3 Sage. Sage is really good. It searches all your little stones. Can send something to the grave to get a Blue Eyes from a level 8 from deck if you need it.
Do you ever go Dictator D and discard the Sage and then summon a Blue Eyes for like a level 8?
No. If I have these 2 in my hand at the same time, I'm gonna special this. I'll normal this, and if I don't have a card, I can search Legend with it. Okay. But generally if I can avoid it, I will. I'll usually, if I'm doing these at the same time, I'm trying to summon or search a Veiler with Sage anymore.
So you do play. I was going to ask that. That was my next question.
Yeah, that's been a newer addition. Then I'm playing 2 of each of the stones. 3 is just really unnecessary. You start clogging on stones because the problem with Ancients is that it waits till the end phase to do anything unless you're going to use the recycle effect, but then you're losing out on the summon from deck.
Well, and Whitestone just gives you the Blue Eyes.
Yeah, it gives you the Blue Eyes, which is good, but at the same time, you don't need 3 because then you're getting so many Blue Eyes, it's ridiculous. You can't do anything with them in hand without other stuff. So so that's the little Blue Eyes guys. Extenders, I'm playing 2 Nebula Dragon. Nebula plus any of the other, plus Jet or Blue Eyes, or even itself. It's an automatic rank 8 play, which could be deadly in this deck. Yeah. Depending on what your opponent's got.
Yes, it can.
Which we'll get to that. The other extender is Levy. Levy is ridiculous because, again, in and of itself, depending on what your graveyard composition is, if you banish 3 lights, you can revive a level 8. You can make your rank 8 plays and just kill your opponent, or banish combo of light and dark, and you can just wipe back row, wipe problematic cards, bait negates.
The fact that it's also searchable off Melody is just...
that's honestly one of the best things
about
this.
So good.
And a lot of the times I see myself, if I open one of these, I'll dump it with the Melody to search the other one.
So you have the target to use.
Yeah, it gives me a dark and grave which before we had Dictator, you didn't have a lot of darks to banish with this either. It was usually Link Karibo or something like that, which is not always there, so definitely 2 of the better cards in the deck. This card is a little annoying in the fact that it does limit you to only summoning white and dark dragons after the fact. That's an important restriction to remember. Yeah. But it usually doesn't.
Usually you're going for game probably at that point too.
A lot of the time, yeah. Hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler. It's
searchable
Ash
too.
Is just great. Veiler's searchable, so there's no reason not to. So that's monsters. I don't know the exact count, but then staple, 3 Melody, 3 trade-in.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Melody is great. It's gonna, at the very least, Melody is gonna get you into a Blue Eyes and an alternative. So you're gonna get your free special summon. If you have a legend in hand, you can discard it with this and just search 3. That's always good. Trade in, of course, is any extras in hand, especially with cards like Jet. You can dump them, draw free cards, and get them back later with your alternative. So just really good cards. I mean, they're pretty staple in Blue Eyes, I'd say. 2 Ultimate Fusion. I'm mixed feelings about this card because it can be really good and it's really funny when you
get it off.
When some of the cards go off, it's really funny. But at the same time, if you open it early, it's very bricky because depending on what your hand makeup is, it can be very hard to get this off right away.
Yeah.
And using it can oftentimes make your Jet Dragon go offline, which is not good. So it's good, but at the same time,
in a microcosm, it's decent.
Yeah, it has its uses, but sometimes it's not the best.
Okay.
2 Return of the Dragon Lords. I mean, it's good. It's got the added protection. It's good revival if you need. Sometimes you just got to trade in, draw this, and bring back a Blue Eyes, and hopefully get your Synchro plays.
Is the Reborn on it once per turn?
No, actually, I don't believe.
I didn't think it was.
No.
So yeah, that's also sacky because you can have multiple stuff.
Yeah, so it's got its uses. It's not. It's again somewhat situational because you got to have the level 8s engraved to begin with, but it's still pretty good. 1 called by that one. Can't get hand traps. Cards of Consonance.
You are playing.
I am playing 1 Cards of Consonance. So I'm only playing 4 stones. It's pretty good when you open it with stones, but again, it's one of those things. Sometimes you draw it off the trade in after you've already done something with the stones, and it can be kind of bad. So it's not bad. You could be something else, but for right now, this is what it is. I just put this in Dragon Shrine because you can dump a Blue Eyes and then dump any other dragons. You can dump your Legend to get a Blue Eyes in hand, dump Ancients to set up your end phase, or you can dump Blue Eyes and Jet to set up your Jet plays and have Jet live right
it's
away.
A good card.
And then the last card is 1 Monster Reborn, just because it's a good extender. You never know when you need to bring something back.
A lot of people aren't playing that card this format. I'm glad to see you're playing it. It's still good.
It's had its uses. I used it today at least to get an extra trigger off a Legend to get trade-in off. So I mean, it's Monster Reborn.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it is. So that's the main deck. 40 cards. No traps, just because there's nothing really worth. Yeah, it's traps. I just feel like they're all just really slow unless you're playing Imperm or Evenly, which you don't want to play Evenly because you want to be able to go first and set some stuff up. You don't want to Imperm. It's just you're already playing Veiler. There's no real reason to. So. Yeah. So that's the main deck. Extra deck, you got your Synchro package, obviously Spirit Dragon, Azure Eyes, and Moonlight.
All standard, pretty much.
Yeah, it's your pretty standard Synchro package. I'm pretty much always tagging Azure or Spirit into the Moonlight just because it's the disruption of it, which Spirit in of itself is really good. If you can avoid tagging it out, you should, because the negate and the limiting on the summons is good. And this can help, depending on what the tier element player's hand is, it can stop them from going off. It can stop other graveyard-based decks. I just haven't had a lot of reason to go into that, because usually if I'm surviving the next turn, I already have something in my hand to go off. I don't need to revive the Blue Eyes with this. So, but it's not bad. I mean, you could cut it and put something else in, but it's not bad to have as an extra option just in case. But yeah, I think overall the Synchro package is good. I am playing an extra Synchro card that I wanted to try out.
That's different. Yeah.
It is. I don't know. I've used it somewhat. I haven't been playing it long enough to really say definitively if it's great or not, but it's interesting, and it makes people think twice about what they're doing at least. And if nothing else, you can use it to return banished stuff to the grave, or to return banished stuff with it. So I mean, it's not bad.
That combos well with Chaos though too for the Living Air. You can banish and get it.
Yeah. Fusion package, 1 Tyrant and 1 Alternative.
How often do you go into Alternative?
Not very, but when it's pretty much when this goes off, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially if you get it with the 3 pops, because depending on what you're playing, that's just devastating.
It's niche, but it works.
Yeah. I mean, back when I first started playing this card, when Ultimate Fusion came out, I played against Paleo. Made this against Paleo. They had no answer. Because all their stuff banishes. The banish targets. All their stuff targets. So it can be good. Again, it's more just there for the comicalness, and occasionally it comes up effectively, but not as often. This comes off comes up more because it's less specific in what you need. You just need a blue eyes and a dragon, so it's more often to go. So sometimes if you end up if your play ends up being just summon blue eyes off of your ancients, you can just go into this, pop a card, and then hope that's enough for a disruption. So I'd say those are good. Again, if you were going to cut the fusions, if you were going to cut the ultimate fusion, you can cut these obviously. But
have you thought about playing Super Poly, just out of curiosity?
No, because
you can send the stones to grave.
Yeah, partially the extra. I mean, there's probably some packages in the extra deck that could come out for Super Poly targets. It just kind of depends.
Just an option. I just didn't know if you'd ever thought about playing Super Poly.
I just not.
It's more beat stick aggro. Yeah.
In some other variants that I thought about playing, like the Invoked, I thought about playing Super Poly because you just go normal Alistair. If they have a negate on board, you don't bother activating Alistair. You just go Super Poly and then suck up their thing, and hopefully it's the right attribute and whatnot.
Yep.
So, your main Xyz package, 87, 38, 92, and 100.
Yep.
These are cracked.
Good old 100.
Depending on what your opponent's playing and how their board's set up, you can insta-kill them with these two cards.
Yeah.
Because summon this off of it, 9,000 attack, whack. If they have Xyz monster, because this gains attack for their Xyz monsters too, so that it can get really big. I got it up to, I think today I got it up to 27,000.
God. Wow.
So, and that was just with my monsters.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow, okay.
This thing's cracked.
That's gross. Yeah.
This is obviously Hope Harbinger is just a good negate. You can even just summon it independently without this. That's fine. If you know you're playing against back row, make this go first. They set 5, they lose everything. You just detach during their end phase, banish everything they've set, normal or special summon that turn.
Yep.
And it can't be killed by battle. Anything that you just ram it into things for game too, because it makes them take the damage instead of you. So I think overall this is just a really cracked package. The main thing you need to remember about 97 is that after you use its effect, you can't summon anything else the rest of the turn. So if you have a stone in grave, you're not going to be able to trigger it.
Yeah.
So that's worth remembering. And only that monster can attack.
Yeah. Usually it's game though. Usually.
Yeah. Usually if you're going into 100, you're killing them. The other Xyz package is Galaxy Eyes Dragons.
Oh, 2 of them.
Well, because you go Cypher. You go into Cypher, take something your opponent has, and then you can just, its name becomes Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, and you can just drop this on any Galaxy Eyes monster, or any Cypher Dragon monster. It doesn't have to be an Xyz.
Mm-hmm.
That was the problem with cards like Full Armor and Cypher Blade Dragon, is they needed to be dropped on an Xyz monster. This just says Cypher Dragon. So it doesn't do anything in and of
so
itself.
You drop it on the one you take then.
Yeah, but so it doesn't do anything on its own. It needs 2 material to use its effect, which it just stops targeting on light monsters, which is whatever. But the main point is you take something from your opponent, whether it be something they're going to use for material for something or something important on there that they've already used. You take it, just drop this on top of it, and now they don't have it. You have a 4K beat stick. And these surviving a turn is how I made number 127,000. Because this is a 10, this is an 8, and then the other 2 are 9, so it's just stupid.
Yeah.
The last Xyz package I'm playing is Lancelot and
okay.
Zeus, because Lancelot, I mean,
it's a negate. Yeah.
It's a negate, but it's annoying because it's a mandatory, so you got to be careful about when you're making it.
Yeah.
But the more important thing is that just whatever your opponent has, you attack directly. You got to pop a monster if this does damage, and then afterward immediately just drop Zeus on top of it, and you have at least at minimum 1 use of it. Because even if Lancelot negated something, you still have 2.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's come up a couple times.
So you get a negate and pop basically out of it.
Yeah. At the very least, you're going to get damage in a pop, and then you're going to get your Zeus. If you're lucky, you'll get the negate because they won't realize what it does.
Yeah.
Or if whatever you popped has a floating effect, like a tier card or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's always good. And then the last card in the extra deck is Link Karibo. It's just sometimes you need to link off your stones or your little guys so that way they're not getting killed. So, yeah, 15 card extra. It's the only Link monster I'm playing.
Do you have a side deck for it?
I do.
I'm just curious.
I'm not going to claim that it's amazing or anything. It's mostly just been geared toward
the current meta, which is fine.
Somewhat. So, you got your back row hate, you got your evenly matched, lightning storms.
Oh, yeah.
And twin twisters. I was maining the twisters for a while, and I might go back. If I decide to cut the ultimate fusions, I'm going to put the twisters back in just because it's good to preempt
Mystic Mine.
Well, Mystic Mine, but also Super Poly has
Yes.
Super poly on your dragons, stuff like that. So it's good to clear out back row before you start playing, and it can trigger your stones. You've got discard fodder in this deck.
Oh yeah.
Evenly is fine if you want to clear it out, but you're not going to get your battle phase, which sucks, but it is what it is. Lightning Storm just, you play back row? No, go away.
Or monsters, you just nuke the board and win.
Yeah. So those are all pretty good. Extra hand traps. I'm playing 2 Crow. I probably bump that to 3. I just gotta decide what I'm gonna take out.
It's actually good for you because you discard, banish a card, then you get the Dark Engrave.
Yeah, this is also where it functions in the dark.
Yep.
So that's always good. 3 Nibiru.
Oh god. So much hate.
I mean, it's just sometimes if you know your opponent is gonna play build a board and you don't think you're going first place can stop them, you just side a bunch of going second stuff, make them go first, and hope to kill them, and then hit them with the number 100 on the crackback. I also playing 2 Kaijus for the same reason, just in case, like, if they're playing a deck that's like, oh, they don't summon enough for Nibiru to work, but Kaiju take them out.
Yep.
Yeah, take out the biggest threat, and then 2 triple attack.
Oh, okay.
Again, it depends on what, if you gotta, it's in the sides of the main, because I'd rather see what they're playing first to see if they're playing hand traps, see if they're playing monster negate, stuff like that, interruptions on my turn.
Yeah.
And then I'll know this is going to be live, because otherwise it could end up being dead in hand, and it's no good for anybody. So
yeah, true.
At best, it's a discard then. So, but yeah, that's the side. Again, it could be edited. I'd probably, if I ever thought to take this to like a regional or higher level event, I would probably reconstruct the side to make sure it's like this is for tier, this is for branded, this is for Mystic Mind background nonsense. But
you ever thought about playing Dangers with it, just out of curiosity?
So I have an online build where I'm playing the level 8 Dangers, I'm playing Allure of Darkness, stuff like that, and it's not bad, but at the same time, it's what dangers are. It all depends on what danger gets sniped and if you get it off or not.
I just figured it's cool because if they hit stone, if they hit any of the dragons, you have lighter dart targets and you just go off with that most of the time.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like times where it can be good, but at the same time, you might have there's enough monsters here that you don't want in your grave, or that you want in your hand, so you don't want them discarded, that it's not always great. You'd have to do a lot of reconstruction. I mean, I'd probably cut the Nebula Dragons.
Yeah.
I'd have to do a lot of reconstruction with a lot of different stuff, so it's a thought. You could play it. You could try it. I also don't have the dangers to play it, so I'm just...
Yeah. No, I just was curious because, like, you have Melody and Super Poly as options.
Yeah, it'd be discard fodder with the
for
dangers, so it wouldn't be bad. It's just not what I have and not what I've been playing with. But yeah, this deck's been a lot of fun. Usually my go-to whenever I come back around to locals.
Oh yeah, aggro blue eyes.
Well, yeah, it's simple to play. It's pretty easy to learn.
Unga boonga beat, as you like to say.
Yeah, it's just make a big dragon, slap him in the face, and it works. I mean, I've beaten tier elements with this. I've beaten branded. Yeah. I've beaten branded tier elements with it. I've beaten a lot of the meta deck. It can surprise you with the number, especially with number 100, and that's just what happens a lot.
It just sneaks wins out. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 100 pops out of nowhere and kills people. And that's all it needs to do. But yeah, that's the deck. Like I said, it's been working good for me. There's some changes I might attempt throughout the coming weeks, but otherwise, I think this is a good way to play it. I mean, I know there's other builds that play like a more control-heavy version with the traps and Tyrant to recycle them. But again, I just feel like there's so much back row hate in the game today for good reason. But Evenly's, Lightning Storms, Feather Duster, all those cards you just get wiped by, and then your deck at that point you're just so low on resources. You're just SOL. You're not going to do anything. That's part of why this deck is a kill them as quick as possible, because you don't outgrind very well. There's times you can, especially with like Jet that keeps bringing itself back and bouncing cards. But basically, against most modern competitive decks, the best thing you can do is end the game as quickly as possible. Yeah. And that's, I mean, you're playing 3K beaters in just a giant OTK machine. That's what you want to do. So.
Well, Brandon, I appreciate the deck profile, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Thanks.